In this video, I'm going to be showing you how to make this really simple faux fur headband, and it's really easy to make up. You'll probably get it done under 30 minutes. I am going to be using my 8mm hook, but if you don't have one, that's fine. Just use the largest hook that you have. You're also going to grab you a pair of scissors or yarn cutters. And the yarn that I'm going to be using for this is the faux fur from Loops and Threads. I got this yarn at Michael's and it was about $10, I believe, for a skein. But for the project, you're not going to use an entire whole skein, so just keep that in mind. So to get started, you are going to start with a slip knot with your yarn, and I will say working with this yarn is not the easiest because you can hardly see your stitches. So just keep that in mind when you're working with this yarn, that you are going to need to kind of fill out your stitches because you're not really going to see them. So you're going to start with your chain, and then for the amount of chains that you do would be the width of your headband. So I started with a chain up of 8, and I believe that width was good enough for me. Now if you want it smaller or larger, you can go less or more. Once you have your desired amount of chains, you're going to add an additional chain 1, and that will act as your turning chain because we are going to be using single crochet for this project. To start working on the row, in the second chain from your hook, you are going to insert 1 single crochet. And then all the way down your foundation chain, you're going to insert 1 single crochet in each chain. So if you did chain up 8 with that additional chain 1, which would be 9, you would be ending your row with 8 single crochets. And like I said, I know this yarn is really hard to see your stitches, so you kind of have to just feel for the next stitch like I'm doing here. I don't know if you can tell, but I'm just kind of feeling out to where my next space is going to be. It also helps to keep count. So like I said, you should be ending with 8 single crochets. So I'm counting as I go to make sure I have that correct amount of stitches. Once you've gotten through your first row of single crochets, you're going to chain up 1, and then once you have that chain up 1, you're going to turn your work because you're going to work back down the row. So in that first single crochet stitch, you're going to skip that chain 1, and in that first single crochet stitch, you're going to insert 1 single crochet again. And for the remainder of the project, you're just going to insert 1 single crochet all the way down the row, and then at the end of the row, you're going to chain 1 and turn your work and repeat the same thing. So just keep working your single crochet stitches all the way down the row, and remember to keep count and fill out for your next stitch, and make sure you have that correct amount of stitches at the end of each row. So you are going to continue this pattern all the way up until you reach the desired length for your project. So you want to keep adding rows until it measures around the circumference of your head or of the person that you're making this for. So as you go, just measure around your head just to kind of see if you need to add more rows or stop. So just keep going with your single crochets all the way up, and then I will meet you guys back once I have the amount of rows that I'm doing for this project. So I have completed all my rows, and to be honest, I was trying to keep count of how many rows I did so I could tell you guys, but I lost count, and with this yarn it's really hard to kind of know what rows you're on. So I did measure it, and when I measured it out, it measured up to 20 inches. So I don't know how many rows that is, but if you want to use the measurements, you can. So just keep going with your rows until you reach 20 inches, and that should be a good amount for a universal standard size for this faux fur headband. Once all your rows are completed, this part is super easy. You're just going to fold your project, and then you're going to stitch along to connect both sides to create a seam for your headband. So you're just going to fold it and align both sides together, and then you can go down the row with 1 single crochet in each stitch or a slip stitch, whatever you prefer. Even if you wanted to use a darning needle to kind of sew the yarn through, you can do that as well. I am just going to use this single crochet method. So once I have both sides aligned with each other, I'm just going to go into the first single crochet on both sides and insert 1 single crochet. and I'm just going to go ahead and do that all the way down the row. I'm just going to insert one single crochet in each stitch. Now I know it's not the best to see what stitch I'm going into, but just kind of feel it out. It doesn't matter if you like kind of skip a space, because with this yarn it can really be covered up, so it's fine. So just go through and just making sure that you're putting in a stitch in each space that you can possibly feel. And at the end, you're just going to pull through and then secure it with an extra knot. And then once you have your knot, you're just going to weave in whatever yarn that you have left hanging over. You're just going to weave it through the project, or you can cut it off if you want to, but I'm just going to weave it through just so I'm making sure that nothing comes undone. So just go ahead and weave it through the project like so, and then you'll be done with the project. Like I said in the beginning, this project is so simple and really easy to make. I just showed you guys how to make one in under 10 minutes. So that should tell you enough. These are really great stocking stuffer, Christmas gifts to give anybody, whatever you want to call them, ear warmers or headbands. It's a really good project. So once you have everything weaved through, you're just going to turn your project right side out, just so that that seam isn't showing. Just tuck in whatever you have left and then just turn it inside out, and then you're done with your project. I really hope you guys enjoyed my tutorial, and I hope to see you guys in the next one. Let me know in the comment section what you would like to see next, if there's something that you guys want to learn. And I know you guys really love to learn from me. Even if there's plenty of tutorials out there, you guys always ask me, can you make one, because we like the way you teach. So yeah, just let me know in the comments what you like to see next, and I'll do my best to try and work on that for you guys. All right, see you guys in my next video. Bye, love you.